Welcome to the Child Care Director's Chair, the podcast for bold educators who are ready to lead, grow, and shake things up in early childhood education. Whether you're a teacher eyeing that lead role, a lead stepping into leadership, or a center owner dreaming big, this is your space to grow with purpose and leave your mark. Hosted by heart-centered leadership coach Erica Sacoccio, each episode brings you real talk, actionable tools, and a contagious laugh or two, all designed to help you step into your next level with confidence. So pour your coffee, pop in those earbuds, and take your seat, because your leadership journey starts right now in the Child Care Director's Chair.
Hey friends, welcome back to the Child Care Director's Chair podcast, where we talk about all things leadership, staff development, creating programs that truly shine. I'm your host, Erica Sacoccio, and today we're diving into the question that so many of you wrestle with. How do I get my staff to actually use PD that we invest in? Now, I did an episode about this the other day, but I really wanted to talk about it a little bit more. Because let's be honest, you don't pour money and time into training for it to live on a shelf, to be in a binder or a certificate just shoved in a binder that says, hey, here's my PD hours, right? You invest in it because you want to see real change. You want to see smoother classrooms or happier staff or kids thriving in new ways. I know that's what I want. So today we're talking about practical, creative strategies to make professional development stick long after training day is over. But first, let's thank our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Jackrabbit Care, the child care management software designed to keep your program running smoothly. From billing and scheduling to parent communication and attendance tracking, Jackrabbit Care saves you time so you can focus on what matters most: your staff, your families, and of course, our children. So let's talk about making PD visible. If you want training to live in your classrooms, it can't stay hidden in a binder. So create visible reminders around the center that highlight what is learned. And that could mean posters in staff areas with quick do this, not that tips, or anchor charts that capture new classroom routines, or honestly, even a little sticky note reminder left on classroom doors, because visibility keeps that content in front of your mind. And what that means to your team, right? Because your team can't remember everything from a one-time session. And the environment that is set up to help them succeed will go such a long way. Like, think about it, like having a GPS, right? It keeps you on track without having to constantly think about where you're going. Now, I think another thing you could really do, because gosh knows we have so many jobs, right? Directors often shoulder the full responsibility of making PD stick. Well, how about a PD champion? That can help with the heavy lift. And PD champions on your team could be a staff member who is the go-to leader for specific topics. For example, maybe one teacher might take ownership of literacy practices, while another champions positive behavior and support. This approach builds that peer accountability and also makes learning less about the top-down direction and more about shared leadership. Because when staff see their peers modeling and encouraging implementation, it also creates that buy-in that keeps momentum alive. And I know I love that, right? Because it's easy to have momentum go uphill or downhill. So we really want to make sure it's going in the direction we need it to go into. Now, let's turn training into fun challenges, because adults love a friendly little competition. At least my family does. You should have saw us an axe throwing the other day. Anyway, instead of asking staff to just try strategies, turn it into a fun game. For example, maybe after a training, classroom management, you might challenge each teacher to share one success story during your next staff meeting, or with a shout out, or a coffee card, or fun prizes for participation. It really doesn't even need to be big. Sometimes the recognition alone is enough. But these small challenges keep the energy high and give people a reason to engage. and help build a culture where growth is exciting rather than overwhelming. Now, I actually invited all of my staff to come join our coaching program tomorrow because we have a special guest. Actually, it's not tomorrow, it's today. My days are so mixed up because I'm getting ready to head out to Connecticut in a little while and pick up my friends Kate and Carrie from the airport. But every Wednesday, we have coaching sessions, but once a month, we have a special guest, and Anisha is joining our group. And I would love for them to hear a different perspective on leadership because they have to hear me all day long. So sometimes even just bringing in a different voice somehow lights that in their head, even though you've said the same thing 20 times. Just having a different person say it in a different way is sometimes the match that lights that spark. You can even bring parents into the PD loop. That's another layer that's often overlooked. Bring families into the learning process. Share a nugget of what your team is learning in your family newsletter, or on social media, or even on a classroom bulletin board. For example, if your staff just completed a PD on literacy strategies, you could write, "This month our teachers are learning new ways to boost storytelling and reading skills." Or ask your child's teacher what their favorite storytime strategy is this week. When parents know what's happening, it not only counts that accountability for your team, but it also builds stronger trust with families who see the program is continually improving. And let's celebrate the messy minnows, because we often wait until staff have mastered a new strategy before recognizing their effort. But that's a mistake, because implementation is messy, and the courage to try is worth celebrating, because we're not going to get it on the first try. Highlight teachers who are experimenting new strategies, even if they're not perfect yet. And share progress updates in staff meetings, post appreciation notes in classrooms, or send personal shout-outs to acknowledge their effort. When people feel safe to try and stumble, they try again, and they're much more likely to keep going until they see those results. And growth, honestly, doesn't even happen in a straight line. So let's keep celebrating the messy middle and keep our staff motivated. Now, PD doesn't fail because your staff don't care. It fails because we forget to keep it alive after the training day ends. The key is to weave it into your culture through visibility, through ownership, through fun, family involvement, and consistent encouragement. And when you do that, professional development transforms from a one-day event into an everyday habit. So if you're ready to take your staff's growth to the next level, I would love to support you. Connect with me for your next on-site PD session. I would love to come visit your program. Visit www.childcaredirectorschair.com and let's build professional development experiences that stick, that spark attention, and keep your team energized long after training day is over. So until next time, remember, it's not about checking the PD box. It's about building a culture where learning lives every single day.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Child Care Director's Chair, where we believe leaders aren't born, they're grown. If something sparked for you today, share it, shout it out, or pass it along to the next bold changemaker in childcare. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected with Erica Sacosio for more real talk leadership tools and a whole lot of inspiration. Until next time, lead with heart, grow with fire, and always remember, the chair is yours. Now own it.